Let's head into game 3 out of the best of 13 matchup from Brothers at Arms, game 3. So we've got Szalami and Grubby versus Crackedy and Le Grand. I'm gonna go live in just a bit, but it looks like we've got yellow and orange versus purple and teal out here on 4 lakes. On the eastern side, we've got Roos, played by Szalami, and on the southeast side, we have China, played as Grubby. Western front is English, played by Crackedy, and northwest side is Le Grand, playing as the HRE. Already a couple docks out here on the map, so we've got a Roos dock and an HRE dock, so making that investment relatively early for both the players. This is, you know, it's an interesting placement too. With I haven't really seen a 2v2 on here, so there's like an interesting placement for this, because both of them have more focus on this lake versus the other farther lakes. Whereas before, kind of like when it's 1v1, you have your spawned here, like in the center, and then here in the center. So you have options like to go to both lakes really, or like more in the center of the lakes. But it seems like both teams have access to one lake rather quickly. So we'll see if they decide to defend that, how to wall it off. It's a little bit difficult to wall them off completely, but you cannot lose those fish. Also, it looks like the north and south side lakes do have more fish. They do have more fish, so more, at least deep water fish. Both players have to go out pretty far. They have to go out pretty far to get like those points, or those fishing points. But that's why on this map roofs are so strong, just because they can have fishing ships out there kind of at a safer position and don't have to keep coming back for the dock to drop off the fish. Prediction is up for those of you in the chat. Let's keep going and see how China is doing on Grubby's end. China's got several fishing ships out here on the map. I do really, and one village also going down for Grubby. None of the players are up. We are about 4 minutes in. Nobody is up into the next stage just yet. I think, you know, it takes a little bit longer on 4 lakes to get up to the next age, because you are making a strong investment into those docks in the early game. So you do put more villagers out on those docks out early, rather than just focusing on food and gold. Thank you for the follows. We also have, let's see, Golden Gate going up for Szalami right now. And we've got an Imperial Academy down for Grubby. Couple scouts on their way, and Akin Chapel getting placed down by Le Grand. Spotted out by Szalami though. Salami's got 2 scouts, probably doing a little bit of harassment and also gathering up that bounty. You want to check on Szalami's bounty right now. So if I go over here, Szalami's bounty is sitting at 260 at this point. We also see a council hall getting placed down by Crackedy. And Grubby has reached the feudal age, one of the first players to reach the feudal age. Szalami will probably go up next, and Crackedy and Le Grand are on their way. Szalami has reached the feudal age as well. A little bit of an advantage on this side, but all 3 players. So 3 of the players don't have military landmarks, but Council Hall is a military landmark. So that's kind of like the first point where we should see some military out here on the map shortly. hear the Strabora. And a scout is doing a little bit of harassing. So it looks like Le Grand has tried to take over the northern lake for their second dock. No other docks placed on the south side lake just yet. Most players seem to be kind of hovering at the same spot. Oh, but I do see a couple sneaky docks for Grubby over here, and it looks like a junk is making their way over to the fishing ships of Crackedy. Crackedy's gonna have to queue up. Crackedy's definitely gonna have to queue up a military. Oh wait, where is he going? Oh my gosh, children. Junk is chasing off these units from this fish, and this other junk. Oh, I see. He was waiting for the other junk. Both junks are going to be taking out Crackedy's fishing economy right now. So those sneaky docks actually are probably more effective than Le Grand's at this point. Also, Norman, thank you so much for the hydrate. I appreciate it. A couple scouts from Szalami trying to siege down this north tower. Oh man, those junks doing quick work. We do see a galley out for Crackedy. Crackedy only has one dock right now. Can't seem to get up another dock, and it's gonna be hard to like compete with a double dock from Grubby. And Grubby right now is not worried about like making fishing ships. This is purely just offensive. It's not like he's trying to build this, clean it up from his own lake. This is really not his lake, so that galley is not going to be doing significant damage when you have two other ships. But I will say another galley is out for Le Grand. So yeah, I know, it's just like Grubby has consistently produced enough ships right now. We also see some other sneaky docks out from. So I think Crackedy did the same thing, built a sneaky dock. Both of them have sneaky docks. There's only one dock though from Crackedy. So if Szalami's got military boats out, especially as a roost where you can toggle them back and forth from like an attack ship to a fishing ship, none of Crackedy's not going to be able to hold this necessarily. And I do hear some sounds going off. A couple of that scout is taken out by one of the galleys over on this side. I hear a little bit of defense going off for Le Grand, and those junks heading back to their main. Oh man, they're pulling those galleys back over there so they can heal and shoot it out at the same time. So it looks like Grubby is consistently producing more fishing ships. This is a lot of water battle. Actually, Crackedy is sending out more military ships right now, heading over to the fishing eco positioning of Szalami and Grubby. Oof, this is payback. Payback for sure. For both players. I'm gonna see where Grubby's at in terms of ecos. Building up two more docks on this side. And those junks heading out and also taking out more of the fishing eco from Crackedy. At least for Le Grand, they've got like a good protected lake up north. Otherwise, both other players kind of have a lot going on down south. And it looks like Crackedy is trying to place another dock at the southern lake. So if that's not spotted out by the enemy yet, that's also going to be another safe fishing position. So really, in terms of fishing, we've got an advantage with Crackedy and Le Grand since they have two lakes that they don't have to defend against. Yeah, galleys are the strongest ship for that age, because you have to go up to the next age to make another military ship for these civilizations. Szalami doing a little bit more defense against these galleys, but not able to hold it quite strongly yet. Grubby sending out more junks as well. He's got a lot of junks over on this western lake, and I think he's trying to do the same here on this side, but those galleys are doing a lot of damage to the fishing economy for Grubby. I don't see any military like truly out on the field. If I were them, like, I'd be like, okay, I'm gonna distract them. We do see a military barracks down for Crackedy, but not a lot of, like, just one spear out there. Not a lot of military units out running around on the map. It's really just more of a battle for the water, because all players know on 4 lakes, when you lose your water and food economy out on the water, there can be a really big advantage for several of these players. But I will say there's a disadvantage in the sense that you have to invest so much wood into making these ships, and also it seems like Grubby has given up this western lakefront. The players Grubby did send out an outpost in this area near the dock, but I don't think there's any emplacement. Oh, there is an emplacement on it, so it is going off and doing possibly a little bit of damage to this dock, but not enough. And Szalami did try to build a offensive dock in this position, but those galleys are out there ready to take out any of the fishing ships that come out. Yeah, I don't see any military units out on the field besides these 3 spears from Crackedy. Crackedy doesn't have any longbows out doing any harassment. Grubby did try to go to the south side base as well, probably going to be running into Crackedy. I don't know if they're going to try to peacefully fish side by side, but it seems like Grubby is trying to reestablish the fishing ego that he lost to Crackedy. I hear spears coming out, and there are some lancers out from Grubby. Grubby did do a little bit of damage here out on the wood line. A couple of those villagers went down, but that lancer also got taken out by this pretty big group of spears from Le Grand. Le Grand did go down with the Regnant's Cathedral. It looks like he placed the Burgrave, canceled it, and then went to the Regnant's Cathedral. So he's already bringing back some of the... Oh, is Szalami gonna spot that out? Szalami is Wololo getting off, doing a little bit of distraction, able to secure one of those relics, even though he did lose that one prelate. The other prelate's gonna come by, pick that up, and a couple of the spears also pulling up to do a little bit of defense. Moving the prelate back, trying to avoid that group of knights out on the field from Szalami. And we've got more... Oh, we got a little bit of a ring around the rosy going off for one of these scouts as well. I'm hearing sounds out from the eastern lake. Oh, and it looks like a war junk is out for Grubby. Grubby is up to Castle Age. Le Grand is also up to Castle Age, obviously with the Regnant's Cathedral. So we've got 2 players up to the Castle Age, and it looks like Barbican is getting placed a little bit later in the game for Grubby. So Grubby decided to go up to TC. So Imperial Academy, 2 TC, so an extra TC, and then the Clock Tower, and then the Barbican of the Sun. Oh, throwing the game in this section. Big King says he's throwing the game because he's placing the Arcan Chapel right by the Regnant's Cathedral. I do understand what you're saying. This is... Okay, I'm not sure if Le Grand knows, but this is a huge drop-off point. He did take out his prelate from this area. The Arcan Chapel now with the update is a drop-off point. So it is like similar to if you had a lumber camp, a farm, or a mill, and like a mining camp all mixed into one. So I do agree with chat where like if you're not using the Arcan Chapel, like what's the point, since that's like a huge eco boost to you, especially, and it also kind of makes it so you don't need to go to TC when other players do go to TC like in the earlier game. You can build both TCs next to each other. There's nothing wrong with having a tight base. I think for some players, they just try to get it down relatively quickly. I don't really know the repercussions of doing them right next to each other, but I do see that quite a bit. We've seen some spears going out defending against Szalami's harassment, and it seems like Crackedy has not given up this lake yet. Le Grand continues to do a little bit of fishing as well. Yeah, so he keeps having to pull back from this wood line. I think it would be actually better to pull the villagers up to this back wood line. I don't know where these guys are headed. It looks like they're trying to secure some gold out there for just a bit, but we do have 2 of the relics in the Regnant's Cathedral. You remember you can go up to 3 now and get up to 2 more a minute. And we see a Palace of Swabia getting placed down too. So all 3 landmarks are kind of close to each other. Interesting placement for these players. Yes, you can't supervise the TCs as well. We also see a couple shots getting off from this Hulk. So Hulk out on the map. I'm a little confused as well. Like, I could see being in a rush trying to get down like another landmark, but this is really not a true HRE move. And there's like several spears, which I understand. Looks like we're gonna have to go to the regular UI. It's hitting at 17 minutes. We got that weird pause that happens at 17 minutes where we have to switch the UI mode. And Szalami continues to harass. So what I want to see, like, I'm glad Le Grand did move back most of the units to the back wood line, which I suggested, but there really is like maybe a little bit of a wall, a tower. Szalami just keeps pushing on that area. Finally, Grubby has cleaned up the dock from Crackedy, so both players have secured the eastern front or eastern lake. This western lake seems to be just like dominated by Crackedy at this point. He's got 2 Hulks. Hulks do a lot of damage. They've got those Springald emplacements in them. And on the northern side, Le Grand has just been fishing freely. If we look at current resources, there is obviously a significant lead from a couple of the players, but Le Grand is in Imperial, so that's why there was like that big investment made. For that, Crackedy has not gone up to Imperial just yet. I think Szalami and Grubby seem to be like kind of saving up to go up to the next stage, so we'll see what they decide to do in the next few minutes. We do see some Shukanu out and an Imperial officer. There's only there's 3 to 4 military buildings. I hear a Wololo going off. Oh! And he stole 3 of those villagers from Grubby. Wait. Oh, wait. Are those... No. Those aren't Grubbies. Those are Crackedy's still. Wait. Did he steal them? Wait, he stole them, and then because he's English, they can shoot arrows. I didn't know that, like, if you steal them, they still do that. I just thought they, like, remained, like, true to who they were, but I guess not. They now can shoot. It looks like, also... I think Crackedy's trying to go up with a Wingard Palace. Szalami has spotted that out, and we see some Chukanu on their way with a couple mixed in crossbowmen. They got to get out underneath that tower, get away from that tower fire though, because they're just getting taken out, and they're not very good at sieging. I'm not sure if he's just standing there trying to deny that sacred site at this point. There is another sacred site that's open, so probably just a little bit of denial for that sacred site. Sacred site is also captured on the south side of the map by Crackedy and Le Grand. So now that sacred site has been decapped by Grubby. Grubby sacrificed several of his Chuganu for it, but that's okay. They're relatively inexpensive units. And on the western front, we still have this battle going on from Grubby and Le Grand. From the center of the map, we see Szalami and Le Grand going at it. Spears and men-at-arms. I think... No, men-at-arms. Like, what always trips me up is when I'm playing against an HRE player is when they've got Lance Connects mixed in there. Lance Connects actually are very good against several of those Royal Knights. So having Lance Connects with your spears, those Knights are not going to do well. We do see a pretty big group of spears, though, out from Crackedy, who's playing as the English. So... Wingard, I see. Wingard Rangers is queued up for him as a player, and it seems like in the center of the map, Szalami is going to be securing up this area, taking in... Oh, does he see this? Oh, and Grubby is building a outpost as well. So gold is taken over by Szalami at the center of the map. There's a Boar kill, and a lot of deer meat out there as well. And I think, so Szalami is pushing towards Le Grand right now. Is going to be taking out a couple of those prelates, is moving towards their center of the base. Most of the army is down in Crackedy's base. So Le Grand has units up here on the north side. No units up here on the north side. It's mostly just villagers. Villagers running for cover at this point, going to be taken out, and most of those towers are going to get sieged down by Szalami. All players are up in Imperial Age, so this is getting exciting. Eastern Front has been re-secured by Grubby and Szalami, and it looks like Le Grand and Grubby have decided to just fish together in peace at this point. Man, Szalami is pushing really, really hard on Le Grand. It took him a while to get most of those units back here to do a little bit of defending, gonna be able to chase them off. Oh, and we see 2 blacksmiths placed down. Oh my god, wait. There was no blacksmith yet from Le Grand. This is a late blacksmith. Also, have a good night or good evening or whatever time zone you're in, Dawn. I'm just a little confused. I feel like for Le Grand, maybe this wasn't the best play to play as HRE. A couple of those coming in. So we've got marching drills and iron undermesh as well. This is ranged armor technology, 1 out of 3. So you kind of want to age up with those upgrades as you age up. Szalami seems to be taking over the second sacred site on the map, or is that the third one? That might be the third one at this point. And there's a Spaskia tower up there to do a little bit of defense. South side of the map, looks like Grubby did take over this this sacred site as well. Has a keep drop there. It's gonna get boiling oil, and those villagers are sieging down that bombard. Unfortunately, there's hand cannoneers right there at the front, and gonna be taking that down as well. But Szalami's military is right there to save the day, takes out that bombard. That's needed. They need this keep here if they're gonna secure the sacred sites. It looks like the teams are gonna be going for sacred sites right now, or at least securing them for just a little bit. Battle going on here at the center of the base of Crackedy. So Crackedy doesn't have a lot of military units out here. And just like Szalami is sending in a lot of knights, a lot of horse archers, doing significant harassing. I'm just gonna see Le Grand is at a military of 31, eco of 100. Grubby is sitting at an eco of 118, military of 41. Szalami is sitting at a military of 29 at an eco of 93. Tower is being really a nuisance to his high trade house right now, and we see a university getting placed down from Szalami, so we'll see some really upgraded units. And the base of Grubby has pretty much gone untouched like this whole game. So kudos to Grubby for just having an epic large base at this point. There is 1 knight right here, so I stand corrected. There is a little bit of harassment right there. Otherwise, yeah, he's able to produce units freely. He has a Great Wall Gatehouse just chilling here for a little bit, and we do see some nested bees moving over down to the south sacred site. Crackedy has a treb as the English gonna be doing a couple hits on this Great Wall Gatehouse, which has 7,500 health. It's gonna take a while to take it out with 1 of those. Nested bees be like, nah, bro, nah. This is our Great Wall Gatehouse. I don't think HRE does have a university quite yet. It seems like he's working through his blacksmith upgrades at this point, trying to do that a little bit more on the safe side. Baoshan is out for Grubby, so Grubby is like, okay, no more peaceful fishing, takes out both docks, and Le Grand loses that western side fishing. Forward keep also getting placed down by Crackedy, and Szalami pushing in on this side of the map, And I think Grubby is trying to secure this sacred site as well, placing down a forward keep a little bit close to the sacred site comparatively. And these nested bees are taking out any of the military units that are kind of coming out from these several of these buildings. Crackedy, I'm going to look at the current res for some of these players. Le Grand is up. Le Grand should be sending men-at-arms, Lanchknechts out onto the map, has a pretty strong eco behind it, is coming down with a siege workshop. Probably going to try to take over this gold right now. I will say both players are, you know, having gold on this map is really important. There are 2 safe gold sections for Le Grand, so we'll see how Le Grand's doing at this point. With like several of the gold, I think he can send in a lot of units. And I see a trebuchet out for Grubby right now. Military of 43, eco of, so we're at 163. I'm assuming, yeah, Grubby's pop capped almost. And Salami's not quite there yet, but he is playing as Bruce and has really strong units as before. So we see, now we see a mixture of Lanchknechts and elite men-at-arms, which is what I wanted, especially when you're playing against knights and some of these stronger units. But Crackedy is sending in most of the military up to the front lines, and it seems like Le Grand is kind of hanging out at the back and letting Crackedy kind of do the cleanup. So most of those units were taken out by Crackedy. Crackedy is down to an eco of 41, is struggling to keep up. Military of 34. Sacred Site gonna be taken over by... oh no! Monk was taken out by several of these, what are these? These are Hulks. So Hulk's out on the map, and I think, okay, it looks like we've got a couple Baushans being queued up for Grubby right now. Grubby has to be careful that that is not taken out, so his dock's not taken out. These Hulks are going to be able to clean up most of the south side fishing industry for Grubby, but I don't know if they're going to spot out the dock before anything significant happens. We see another keep drop from Grubby. Grubby seems to be playing China really well with all those forward keeps, and though China has gone pretty much untouched. Grubby, current resources doing really, really well, has that double TC, has a population capacity right now, has a Treb out doing a little bit of damage here and there to Crackedy, who is struggling to catch up at this point, especially with the military and the eco. Comparatively, we do see a couple trebuchets trying to stay in a safer zone and take out a couple of these towers. That keep was cleaned up, but we've got nests of bees, a couple of bombards, and Hannah Cannoneers over here from Grubby. Grubby placing down another keep. And at the center of the map, we see more of the keeps going off from Le Grand and Szalami. Military of 66 from Grubby, so Grubby's still hanging on there. We got a military of 57 from Le Grand, and then a military of 39 from Szalami. So Salami's definitely lower on the count, but it seems that Le Grand is kind of hanging back just for a little bit, probably going to see if they can catch up and take out one of those keeps before diving into the main base of Szalami. Salami's base has been relatively untouched as well. Baoshan did make it out onto the map, is cleaning up those Hulks. Probably going to head over to this second dock right now, taking out any of the fishing economy. And that'll allow Szalami and Grubby's team to be able to take over several of those sacred sites. So that south one has been taken. The center one still is open, so he's got to send a monk over there to take that center one. But there is a pretty close keep from Crackedy, so Crackedy seems to be guarding that center one enough to like prevent them from wanting to go over and take it. But Baoshans are out on the south map, and I think Grubby has secured 3 of the lakes now. So the tides have completely turned. I thought Le Grand had both the lakes, but really now Grubby has come towards the end of the late game, taking over 3 of the lakes. There's still a huge fishing eco out there. There's a lot of food out there. It allows the players not to invest so much in wood, and Nested Bee's getting several hits off. Oh, taking out one of the trebuchets, 2 trebs left, actually 3 trebs left, and a couple Springald's are out on the map, going to be trying to take out several of those Nest of Bees, since those Nest of Bees hurt, especially even against other Trebs and things. They're definitely hard to handle. So Grubby seems to be doing a lot of defense on the south side of the map, trying to keep this sacred site safe. And I see Szalami heading over to the center sacred site, going to be securing that with a warrior monk. And that warrior monk is out of the range of Crackedy's. And it looks like Grubby has been sending food to Szalami right now. Grubby has a strong eco. Grubby sent 600 of like all these resources to Szalami and is still hovering at 3,000 food and 3,000 gold. Le Grand is not doing too bad either, but is low on gold. I don't know why they're low on gold. A little bit of a battle here happening at the front lines. Szalami is protecting that keep. Emergency repairs going off for this forward keep, and that bombard seems to be taking it out at the front line. So those Trebs just like couldn't get that keep down. And Streltsy and Knights and Bombards pushing into the base of Le Grand. I think Le Grand just waited like a tad too long before going in. Has to be careful to protect those culverins, because those culverins need to turn around and take out those Bombards now. If they're not careful, they're going to get taken out themselves. And those men-at-arms starting to make a push towards the Streltsy. Bombards getting pushed back, trying to keep them safe. Those culverins can hit that. At least one of them. They're pushing in really, really close. So I actually think it's because he can't see vision-wise. That's probably why. Yeah, he can't see where they are. He lost all his vision. So putting in, and also Grubby has more vision here for Szalami. So Salami's got more of the vision and is able to take things out. Those culverins did stay safe though, and or one of those culverins stayed safe, and 3 of the trebuchets trying to take down the keep of Grubby. Looking at the south side of the map, Grubby's still defending off the enemy from the south sacred site, and I think Crackedy, most of their military is up towards the center here, also trying to decap this sacred site as well. Grubby doing a little bit of defense right now. Both of them have like secured all 3 sacred sites. So I think the sacred timer is going up. I will say Szalami has gotten all those upgrades. Master of the Templar, Observer UI does not work currently. Just when I hit it, the game pauses, so I don't want to risk pausing the game again. Several of those Bombards from Grubby are pushing in, and look at this big group of Bombards and Knights. Bombards from Szalami. Szalami's protecting them with several of the Knights. Gonna be trying to wipe out a couple of these forward towers, military production buildings, and Le Grand is coming up from the northern side with the culverins. He'll have a little bit more vision here. Actually, what I would like to see is that culverin, if it can stay in the South Forest, pull up right here where it's not seen. Oh, Grubby coming over here to build a keep though. Culverins have to set up soon, otherwise. Oh, and we get the tap out. It looks like match has been completed, so Crackedy has tapped out, and Le Grand has tapped out as well. It probably just couldn't keep up with the eco. I'm gonna look at the timeline, total unit count. Yeah, Crackedy definitely dissolved on that, and just looking at the total resources count, both players were relatively low at that point, and Grubby just like had a huge eco. And when you have a huge economy and can feed your teammate for their military production, like Streltsy and Knights, yeah, you'll see a win there.